What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Kisscapades podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me, and I'll just let her introduce herself because up to today, after we met till today, I still can't pronounce her name right. So tell the people your name, where you're from, and what you do, and then I'll take it on from there.
So, maybe Laura.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Laura. I'm from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying now here in Kenya, in Nairobi, Allsops.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied psychology back in Germany. At the moment, I'm doing an internship for a Kenyan company that's called Iburu Coffee. So what I'm doing is establishing social projects for this company on the coffee farm that's in Chogoria,
Mm-hmm.
Mount Kenya region.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know where that is, first of all, and I'm Kenyan until you mentioned it, and then I was like, oh, I thought you're talking about Germany, but it's in Kenya. So the Kisscapades podcast is about the 4 pillars of life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. And anybody who comes here, they just have a completely different journey, and that's what shapes us to who we are in, decades to come, and even currently. Just our life experiences shape us into what we are. So I'll just start with something very simple, what did you want to become when you were growing up? And start with that.
That's actually a really hard question
Because
honestly I don't remember.
you can't remember?
But I think I really like I like planes.
Mm-hmm.
I like everything about aviation,
Mm-hmm.
but also for me I would say I was always creative. I like to sew my own dresses. I like to work with beads and ornaments and all this kind of stuff. Sewing dance costumes for Oriental dance, that was really much my hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like to work with my hands, but at the same time I took the path of studying. So I just try to find a way of getting
back
both
to
together.
arts.
Yeah.
And when just before you drifted into the arts and all these things that you're talking of that you're pursuing, different from like the conventional jobs, right? That a lot of people go to because they are maybe safe, because it's a guarantee way, at least, because once you hop into that wagon of art, it's unpredictable.
It's hard.
It's hard, it's unpredictable, you're not sure how the future is going to be. But when you're doing this, and I've heard you mention like your mom, on our past conversations, was she supportive of you making that move to
To what I'm doing? I would say in our family it's easygoing, because I'm not I moved out when I was 18, and even before that I would say my dad is really much supporting me in being happy. So for our family it was not about which job am I supposed to get when I'm adult. It was always about what makes you happy in life, and we just we all support each other in finding happiness. So of course you cannot find happiness without having any dollar in your pocket, but it was never there as the main guidance thing. It was always
what makes you happy.
What is your talent, and then what makes you happy. And actually I never thought that much about where will I get my money from.
No, I'm just saying, because arts, it's kind of, and it's a worldwide thing. It's always unpredictable, but if you pave like your way, somehow money just will eventually come to you. Yeah, but you're doing it with a better purpose.
And even for me now, I think I've found my path in a way that I would say I like to combine both, because I think psychology and art and sport, it can go hand in hand. In the way of everything that is freeing the mind. I like to inspire people in a lot of self-reflection, because that is mainly psychology. And anything that's a bit outside the box can give new ideas, can make people reflect about how they are living day to day. At least for me, I hardly think about what am I doing every minute and second. It's just happening. There are appointments, there are duties, and then after some time, maybe when I'm creating new things that are on my mind, or even when I talk about new ideas, all of that is kind of giving me just a bigger picture, and I like to inspire people with that as well.
Okay, so specifically, why did you take psychology as a career path? I mean, I just want to understand why.
I don't even understand myself, but maybe it runs in the family because my dad is psychologist.
Oh, he's a psychologist.
Yeah, and always I think my parents did not want me to follow, but it comes down really much following my dad in who he is, his personality and his hobbies, although I never planned to, but he's just really inspiring to me. And I like his mindset, and he's always the person that is just giving me the right words at the right time. So I guess it just really much
he's the biggest influence. He's the biggest influence, and
he's a role model to me, and I'm happy that he is.
Well, that's a good thing, because I mean, a lot of times people find it hard to find inspiration, especially if you don't lean towards what's happening around you, like even in the house. Maybe if your big brother was like a boxer, most probably you would want to be a boxer if he is a successful boxer. If he's a race car driver, if he's a teacher, or if he's a psychologist, like you're saying, those are the things that you see around you, and they kind of like inspire you to want to do almost the same thing. So how does this psychology major end up wanting to be in Kenya, for that matter? Why Kenya?
Why Kenya?
Yeah. Apart from Mombasa, of course. Mombasa is very beautiful. We can't find Mombasa anywhere else.
Apart from Mombasa, that is true. It's like it's a heaven on earth.
Yeah.
That's not even exaggerating. That is just point blank how
very
it is.
True. Yeah.
But it's Mombasa. My trips to Mombasa only have been that great because of the people that I've been with. So I guess the answer to why Kenya is I just fell in love with Kenya and the people, the spirit.
Did you know what you're going to expect before you came here, or when because you said you applied for it, right?
Yeah, the first time I came here, the first moments I was in Kenya, my picture was completely different. My picture was full of stereotypes and
what are the stereotypes? Please tell me the stereotypes. I want to know the stereotypes before you land in the country. What were you expecting before?
I was maybe scared to go out because for us in Germany we have those pathways where you can walk comfortably along the street.
Yeah.
So the first moment I was there, I was looking, where should I even walk? How can I even cross the road? There is no traffic light. Can I go out at night? Would it be safe?
Yeah.
And then at that time I was just done with my degree in psychology, and I came for volunteer working in Madare. And so it was just boom from Europe. Then the next day you just end up finding your way alone walking through Madare, not knowing anything, and the only information I was getting from Wikipedia. So guys, never do this mistake, not knowing anything and then Googling about
a certain country. Will give you like some of the... You might actually not leave the house if you actually read about the country.
I did not even want to leave the house, to be honest. That's exactly what happened. Before I then met the people and just put aside what's written down, just realized that things are completely different, because we all see through our own mindset, and maybe the person who has written just his or her own interpretation or experience what they were seeing. But what you focus on, your attention focus, is also guiding what later on you think is there.
True.
So I just had to learn to shift my attention, instead of seeing what is not there, to look into people's eyes and get in touch in what do we have in common instead of what is keeping us apart. I think that was the biggest shift I did, what really made me happy here. to get home to people, talk to them, and see that it's the same struggles everywhere. They just show a bit differently. But all in all, I think people are more happy here.
Really?
Yeah.
People are more happy here than Germany.
I think so. At least this is the stereotype.
Please enlighten me. I would want to know. Okay, what are some of the contrasts that you've noticed that would make you say something like that? Is it the recreational activities, just day-to-day life, how people interact with each other? What would make you say that, people seem happier here?
I think here people live more in the moment. It comes with some positive and some maybe not that nice side effects.
Yeah.
Because for us Germans, we are good for the future. Usually we don't have that big money issues. We like to save up and we like security a lot.
Planning ahead of time.
A lot of planning. But then it's hard to enjoy the moment, because if you always think about tomorrow, when will you enjoy today?
You won't actually. Yeah.
Also, just from where we are in life, Germans, they might have nearly everything, but then you have to struggle every day. You just struggle to maintain what you have, always having the scary feeling you can only lose, you can hardly get better.
Are you talking about jobs?
Like the feeling in general, the society, there are hardly people being that hungry, or at least I did not see them or experience.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of luxury, so there's nothing really substantial missing from how I saw it in Germany or how I experienced. Mm-hmm. Compared to Kenya, there's still potential, if I might say that.
Yeah.
But that is also a great source of motivation.
Yeah.
Because you can make it.
Yeah.
There's a way up, and still you can already live properly. And these lucky people can do that. But you can be motivated because there's things you want to reach, there's something you want to make of the day.
Yeah.
And this motivation, and that's
drives you.
That is what's driving me here. That is the main thing I really love about being here. Everyone is so psyched to make it.
Oh yeah, it's cutthroat right now. Everybody's just like, I just want to. But okay, also, unfortunately, we don't have the same systems that would be in place to favor somebody to be rewarded if they're working hard. It's just because you're working hard, it's not guarantee that you're going to get like a job. We have so many university students who are like finishing. I'll show you a clip online where people are going for a job interview, and they had advertised for just two positions, for a waiter and a waitress. And then this is the number of people who showed up for the job interview. Come on. These are people going for the job interview.
That's a whole crowd. That is really, really many.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not guarantee exactly if you have like a degree or papers, or if you're skilled, that you'll be rewarded for that, or you'll get a job that will compensate you well for actually studying that. How's the situation in Germany, like for young people if you finish school?
Also, there is no guarantee.
Really?
I was applying for a job twice, and I never got it, although I have
Germany?
a degree. It was actually in Switzerland where I applied,
okay.
But it was not a simple job, but also a job that I had at least a qualification or more. But it was many people showing up.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. There's no guarantee. But maybe our society system is a bit different. There are many jobs. Usually you can apply to be employed. Therefore, it's harder to start your own thing. Mm-hmm. So from how I experienced it, at least from what I've seen so far, that is also not everything, but it's just a small picture. I think that in Kenya, many guys try to start their own thing, what they are passionate about.
Yeah.
And I've not seen that in Germany because it's a harder process. We don't have that many problems with corruption or stuff like that, but therefore we have stricter rules to follow, if you get me.
Yeah. So now, even if you're trying to venture into business, you need your paperwork, you need these things that you have to. You can't just wake up in the morning and decide, you know what, today today I'm starting to sell this and that.
It's not working.
Okay, then that's a downside to that, I guess.
That's a downside, because then what do people end up to? When you're employed, you also have to follow what your boss is telling you.
Yeah.
So does it really make happy? Maybe, but from studies it has shown that it does. The percentage of people that are really happy in their job in Germany is not that high as you would
actually
expect
think.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's just always interesting to hear somebody coming from a different place and just having like a whole different experience. But now when you introduce, like you say, the rules are there and regulations, like, you know, in Kenya, you can just wake up outside my gate, I can start selling my stuff. Nobody's gonna care. Okay, even though there are a bit of restrictions, but like you said, there are some things that might hinder us or favor us. Corruption bit as well. Hey, if you have a little bit of money, you can squeeze that on somebody and you can keep doing what you're doing. Of course, I'm only promoting things that are legal. I'm not promoting illegal activities. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
it's just how things are, is it not?
No, true. And another thing, let's just hop now into like your main thing, which is what you mentioned is the coffee.
Yeah.
The coffee, is it coffee business? Or is it, well, how would I don't know how to, the words I should use when describing it. So please.
Okay, it's a company. It's a Kenyan company. It's called Iburu Coffee.
Ibru or Iburu?
Iburu.
You sure you're pronouncing it the Kenyan way, or is it a German pronunciation?
I'm pronouncing it a bit the German way, because my Kenyan accent is not fully developed.
Okay.
It was actually.
So what do you do for the company? Is it a Kenyan-owned
It's
company, or is
it a Kenyan-owned
it
company? Maybe I should start explaining a bit the concept of the company, because it's actually really nice.
Please do.
When I was in Kenya the first time, I met a girl. She turned out to be an ecologist, and then we were talking a bit. We were just sitting in a place like this, and randomly there was one table free. We were just having a coffee. Then we started talking, and she said, my parents, they have a coffee farm. They are coffee farmers and tea farmers. That is in Chogoria, Mount Kenya region.
Yeah.
And the price for the coffee, selling it just as a farmer, is so low. So people from my village, they start uprooting the coffee. That's so sad. And studying ecology, you just know that you have to preserve the environment. You also have to preserve the wildlife, the birds, everything.
Yeah.
So what she did was, let me take it in my own hands. This coffee in Europe, it's so expensive. There must be any profit more than what coffee farmers get. So let me just sell it directly. Let's skip all the people making the profit in between.
And
let's skip the middleman and just see we are having one of the best coffees, and that is true. It's a really good product.
So now it's coming straight from.
It's coming straight now
from the farmers.
From the farmers to the consumers.
Now to which places is it being distributed?
It's distributed even here in Kenya. You can get it.
Yeah.
You can get it in Norway. You can get it in Sweden.
Really?
You can get it in Germany. Yeah. We also have a homepage. You can check it up.
I know you can mention where people can find out the coffee or just see more information about it.
If you Google Iburu, Iburu coffee.
How do you spell that? E-B.
No, I. B U R U.
Okay, yeah.
I hope I said it correctly.
No,
This is a challenge.
now it makes sense.
So now we're selling the coffee directly. So there's many people also liking the concept that the coffee farmers doing the work, they should also get the money that they deserve.
Yeah.
And therefore, when they have money, they can do a lot. They have enough money to live a good life, to take care of themselves, get good food, bring the kids to school, all of that. So we also come with an environmental mission to save the environment. So
the same company or?
Same company.
Okay.
Because as an ecologist, she also has the knowledge in how to plant.
What's an ecologist, first of all, before we continue?
Ecology is about the environment. So she knows which plants, how to plant them, how to, for example, if you plant higher trees above the coffee, then there's also birds coming. These birds, they eat the insects, so you don't have to use pesticides. So it's more, it's working just naturally.
I'm learning so much on this podcast.
I hope I'm explaining it properly, because this is usually not my part.
But it makes sense what you're saying. Okay, hold on to that thought first of all before we continue. Hold on.
For example, she knows how to plant organic. That means when you plant some indigenous trees in the shade, the coffee is doing better, because in the shade it can get it just becomes better from the way it's growing. So the quality outcome is tip top. And also in the trees there are birds flying there, and those birds, they also like to eat the insects that usually harm the coffee. So you don't have to use any chemicals. So it's an ecosystem that works within itself. Also the higher trees, maybe when it's a banana trees and macadamia tree, trees like that, they also bring fruits and they bring nuts. So the farmer also has even more than only the coffee. And the trees, they also help that. I would not say it's a forest, but the farm is close to the forest, so it blends in really well. Then people don't have to uproot the forest. They can just have their own system, their own ecosystem working by itself, and get enough out of it.
Do you enjoy doing this?
I love doing this.
Yeah, because I have to, because you know the way you're explaining, it sounds you're very passionate about it.
I'm extremely passionate.
And you know all the details about everything, and that's why it's just good to know and meet people who are passionate about things that are different, because you kind of like start looking at things in a very different way. Because you're like, why is this person so interested when you're explaining about growing trees, the birds, and just coffee in general, just making sure all those little things that we take for granted. For me, I just come here, order coffee, drink it. I don't really pay much attention to where it's coming from, is the farmer happy, all those little things that you've put into consideration, like just partnering with the Iburu coffee.
No.
How popular is coffee in Germany?
It's really popular, but now this is where the psychology pops in.
Yeah.
Because I think in Germany, or maybe in general, what's the first thing about you want to have a coffee? You look so tired.
Yeah.
It's just you want
Espresso.
the kick. You just want to be woken up. But people hardly think about how's the coffee farmer doing. How much do they get for their coffee beans? Can they send their kids to hospital when there's anything? Do they have enough to pay a good school fee? Who's educating them? Because for me, I believe that when the coffee is grown with love, with happy people, it also comes back in a way. So
I don't care if my coffee is happy. I'm just saying I don't pay attention to such things. But now that you're saying the psychology part comes in.
Yeah, because that's how it is usually. I hope I mentioned before, because that is then the self-reflection. The day goes on, you work hard, then you just feel tired. Who would then start thinking about, wait, who planted this coffee?
Yeah.
There's hardly the time to reflect about it unless you've been working on the farm, you've planted and picked and dried and roasted and crushed your own coffee. That is then the point when you know to appreciate it.
So long term, you still want to do the same thing that you're doing in a couple of months or years to come? Is it something that you would comfortably commit to for long-term purposes?
I did that just by volunteering since I know her, since 2017 when I've been in Kenya first time.
Yeah.
Now I got a scholarship from university to be able to be 6 months as a main job in this company.
In this company.
Yeah, and for a long time my plan is to take the concept behind it, that my personal concept goes a bit beyond that.
Yeah.
And for my personal concept, I like to support, or I like to give this idea to any organizations, or maybe companies or non-profit organizations, whatever goes with my concept, on different places on the countryside. Because
in Kenya or somewhere else?
It can be anywhere, but for me, Kenya is the place where I would want to focus on, because I love it.
Okay.
Because my full concept would be, why are people coming even to Nairobi? Why are people even ending up in the slum?
Why? Why is it?
If you ask around, most are not born there. They just came from the countryside, or at least their parents came from the countryside.
Yeah.
Then why is that? Why do people come from the countryside if this is the life to live then, and it's maybe in really poor conditions?
And in the countryside, you might be living actually
at least people have land.
Better way. There's land, fresh air. It's less hassle-free.
Yeah. So what can we do to? And at the first time I came, I was volunteering in a project in Madare.
Yeah.
But now I came to realize maybe the real source of the issue is, maybe this is just what's showing in the end, but it's not the real source. So what can we do? We can go to the countryside, and we can, for example, mentor people on seeing and appreciating and valuing what they have. Maybe
the countryside.
Yeah, maybe it's not much, but maybe there's land and they can use it. Maybe there's resources that are not yet discovered as resources.
First of all, if you think about it, all the resources come from the countryside.
Yeah.
Everything that we use.
We use.
So if there's anybody who's supposed to be actually rich in the country, it should be people from the countryside, because they provide everything that we use in the city on a regular basis.
And that's the point exactly where I personally want to target on. And it can be more than in one company, because the concept is the same.
Yeah.
It's about showing people that they have resources and that they are creating things, they are farming, they are manual working, but maybe they lack the knowledge in how to market themselves. Maybe they have a river, but the idea did not come up that you could be fishing there. So what is it that is lacking? Maybe it's inspiration or a mentor.
Yeah. And I'm sure even like with most of those guys, if, like you're saying, it's just a little bit of mentorship. And even if you introduce them to the internet, they might cut off a lot of middlemen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of middlemen, because what happens, I think, with most, because large-scale farmers are at a good place, because they take it, everything they have, they're distributing in like large numbers. But what happens to the small farmers who can't do that?
Yeah,
probably they'll sell it for a lower price to the guys who have bigger farms, who have the capacity to distribute.
Who then do the business out of it.
Who now then do like the proper business and flip up the numbers 3-4 times. And when these guys, if they knew of different ways on how their product can still be picked up, even if it's in small numbers, and that's with something as easy as just like internet, because internet would educate them. I think that's not my solution, but I'm just saying I think it would make a bigger difference.
I think personally it's also about connecting people. So what I personally do, since I'm not the ecologist but I'm the psychologist,
see ecologists and psychologists coming in coffee farming. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's more of a platform to reach out to people, because that's what I think it's about.
Yeah.
We have those events of skating and art for Iburu Coffee.
Really?
That is, yeah.
Where does that come in?
Okay, for example,
skating, coffee.
What do people need? They need. I believe that someone needs.
Don't tell me farmers need skateboards.
Maybe their kids, because what do you do when you don't have when you don't know what to do in your free time? Maybe you're not even employed. So some might end up I would not say wasting their time, because that it's also a way of interpreting or judging someone would be wasting their time.
It is wasting time.
But
Let me say it. I can say it. Let me say it.
But if you have
Because you have nothing to do though.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically, we're not saying it in a bad way, but there is nothing to do.
Yeah. So what if there is something to do now? If you have a talent in sports, why not following that?
Tap into it.
If you have a talent in being a musician, or if you have a talent in being an artist, why not doing that? So this is a useful, or this could be an inspiring way of using your free time for a good purpose. So there is an artist coming, he's using even the coffee to paint. So we can show people on the countryside, give them this idea, this is something you can do. Also, Woodwise Skateboarding has a corporation. We are showing the kids, we are introducing them to skateboards. This is something they can do for their free time. Then when they see their resources, they might even come up with their own business ideas. So when they have inspiration in the free time, they have inspiration to find their jobs. They might also earn some money from their jobs. So when they have education and jobs and good free time activities, why would they need to come to the city? Even if they have good connections to the city, that is enough.
They really isn't. But I also want to understand is some of these things that you're talking about, are they things that maybe you've seen them working probably in Germany, and that's why, because I want to see or get to understand, like, is it the same way in the German countryside, or how is it in the German countryside? I would want to know that, because I don't know. Is it something that there it's actually working, or it's something that completely new, experimental? As you know.
Now you make me think, because I'm from a city, but
how is it though in Germany, like on the countryside? How is it? Are there opportunities that people have things to do in their free time?
I've not really been to the countryside.
What?
But I would say our countryside is a bit different, because there's farmers, but we are not that much like here. Everyone has a small farm, or even grandma has a small farm, but it's different in Germany. Even on the countryside, people have jobs, people are employed.
They
not
still go to work in the
It's
countryside.
not like a big city and really, really, really countryside.
Yeah.
It's a bit...
Even though it's countryside, it's still kind of like a small city.
It's still accessible. It still has connection to the outside world. I would at least say that.
Oh, okay.
From what I know, I have not seen this villages far away as I've seen it in Kenya.
How comes you haven't been to German countryside?
I've been to, but it does not feel countryside.
Oh, it doesn't feel, if you compare it to
Yeah.
what you would experience if you go to the Kenyan
It's
countryside.
far out, but there's still a school. Every kid has to go to school, and also we don't pay school fees. So that is taken care.
I had even forgotten. Do you have free medical care in Germany?
It is not free, but it is covered in another way. So
How?
for example, when you earn money, then it's already
Deducted?
Yeah, somehow. I don't know the exact way of explaining the system, but everyone has to make sure to have a health insurance. It's really hard to drop out of that. As
It's
Germans
actually
love
complementary.
security, it's just the society is just giving the structure that everyone.
The structure is there. So by, like, let's say once you start working, a section of maybe deduction from your salary will go to medical cover.
And even if you start your own business, you cannot just open a table in your front yard.
You can't do it the way we do it in Kenya.
Not that way, because then government will come and tell you also have to pay your health insurance. You can pay taxes.
You can pay them something small. They don't take something small.
No, they don't. And let me not talk for a whole country, because that is really much, but at least
from what you know,
they may be believing in Germany that they don't.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to see how somebody is looking at things in a different way, or just trying to find a solution to things. So now let's hop on to how I bumped into you. I bumped into you because I used to skate but I took a break because these guys I kept on getting hurt all the time, just trying to keep up with these guys. See that guy behind there? Bad influence.
Really good influence.
So yeah, I did hurt myself a couple of times, but my biggest concern was, because I shoot content for my clients, right? As a videographer, I just produce digital content for Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So I can't be in a gig shooting for a client and I'm limping. Forget about limping. The next week I come in with a scratched face. I'll be like, yo, what does this guy do in his free time? And if I try and explain like I was skating, they're like, nah, that doesn't seem like skating. But yeah, that's just like a backstory to how we met, because I met her skating with my friend, of course, Vic. And we were taking pictures and we got a couple of shots of my friend on the skateboard and stuff. So where does skateboarding come into? Is it something that you're passionate about, or just you picked up? I would want to know, yeah. Let's talk about skating.
And now when you talk about skating, how I started skating, you actually come to one of your 4 topics, that is the love topic.
Oh, we'll come there. Oh, we're going there. There. Oh, trust me, we're going there. I just have to find a way to ease into it.
No, you did it quite smooth.
Yeah.
The way I started skating is love is doing crazy things, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. So
explain. Don't worry.
I was more of a dancer. I love rope skipping, though. Nearly every day I need my rope to just
skip.
It makes me feel good to skip.
Oh, yeah, it's exercising, right?
Yeah, it's so easy going. It just makes me feel like, I needed this. Just 5 minutes to relax my ass.
Forget the rope and skating. Let's go to the skateboard and love. Let's go to love and skateboard.
And then I came to meet this guy. Now you cannot see him. No.
He's somewhere there. They can see him.
Somewhere they are thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since he's I would say really dope skater.
He is.
And
I think he's one of
really
one of
good.
the best.
He's
I think
really
I only
good.
know him and Kev are like the top skaters in Kenya.
Yeah.
You know Kev, right?
You mean Kelvin Murad?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also Kelvin Miner, who's really good. And
Better than Kevin Murage and Murage. Are you saying Murage as Muraj?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Sorry. Yeah, but we're talking about the same guy.
Yeah. We're talking about the same guy.
I'm saying it wrongly.
So I know.
Sorry for that.
I know Vic and Kev are super good at what they do. Plus, I'll tell you why I give them props for that. Because they document and they showcase that. Because like right now, the best way to showcase your talent and even create partnerships or awareness of what you're doing would be through social media. So at least I give them props for that. Not just skating, but at least to share that experience as well with people.
But there are other really good skaters out there.
In Kenya?
Yeah, let me tell you, the kids.
Oh no. Oh no, listen. The kids? Okay, they're good.
And they also have really much a story to tell.
And also like their social media is on point as well. So they're a special case, because if you find kids who are good at what they're doing, who even knows what they'll be in the next like 10 years? I think they're going to be pro. They're going pro level.
They're
definitely
going to the US this year, if I know correctly. They're going there.
As they should. Plus, you see, for kids, it's very different. As an adult, if you've just started skating, you're really concerned about those little things. You can't be in a meeting with band-aids and you're limping and all those things. But for kids, it's fun for them. They're not even looking at it as being rewarded. We want money. They just want to skate for fun.
They just want to skate. And
that's what makes it beautiful. So for them, that's a special case, of course.
They are really good in what they are doing. Plus, they have a really inspiring story.
Yeah.
And who they are really, really nice people.
They are. I've tried skating with them and I was just like, I'd hurt myself for no reason. So let me just cruise with my skateboard somewhere slowly. No pressure. I don't need to keep up with anyone. So yeah.
But this is not a thing. Since Vicky has now his own skate shop, For also, Kenya is really cool in what they're doing with skating. But
Have you said the story of how you started skating? You just said
I'm
something to do with love, or you're easing to it?
I'm easing to it.
Okay.
For he has a skate shop, so
yeah.
Because when you're good in skating, you also want a good board to skate with. And the boards here, I would not say they are not, but they are just not as good as the
They're
ones
hideous. They're hideous.
You can just not get the
you
quality
can't get,
as in Europe.
You can't get.
So when I came from Germany, why not bring some boards, good quality boards?
Yeah.
Of course, I cannot just give out boards for free, but what I can do, I can make it possible to take them in my luggage and bring them here, so that at least people can have access to this kind of boards.
Yeah.
So he has a skate shop. I was delivering the boards. Over time, when I'm bringing the boards, I also have to try to skate. What is it? And since he's a really cool skate teacher, so then we just got to know each other, working together. Then he was also helping me out in liking this idea of Iburu Coffee and starting a corporation. So I'm planning the events, and he was teaching the kids on the countryside. So this is how we are working together, and I really appreciate that a lot. It's really...
love is very special. Love is very special.
It's really giving me the feeling that...
you get a better purpose, and
we can
actually...
do something nice together, something that is helping ourselves and others.
That's very interesting. So do you see yourselves getting married? Getting kids of your own? Look at your face. Oh yeah, you thought I wasn't going to go there.
I thought you would not expect that. I did not expect that. No, it's hard to answer. Should I skip to German and answer in German so that no one can play before?
Okay, let me put it this way, because like I said, even in the podcast, I was talking to my friend, my previous guest, Talisa. She is also into extreme sports. She jumps like off planes and everything. That's what she does for like a hobby, but she's also a photographer.
That's dope shit. That's really cool.
She was doing it in Diani. She's been doing it in the States and everything. But we also got into a topic where she didn't see it coming, but I was like, hey, I explained the 4 pillars of life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. How could you for a second forget that I was going to talk about that? But also let's touch on that, because it's also just part of our everyday life.
It's part of life.
It is part of life. So hold on to that thought. Of course, we've talked about a little bit of the things that are important and everything, just to get a little bit of a backstory of what you do for a living and everything, because the podcast is about just sharing experiences. So now we're at the love segment, and this is that one segment where everybody's always like, oh my, do we have to get into it or everything?
Not like that.
But
no, I think you can just see from my face I cannot hide it. So love is something I don't have to talk about. You can just see it from my face.
I can see it. So just dating in general, for you to come to a whole different country, a whole different ethnicity. I know like a lot of European girls, like right now, they do love black boys. That's for sure. Like they do love like Kenyans, and where else? A lot of Kenyans, Tanzanians, they do love the Swahili culture and everything. So they're also like but how do I ask this question? How is it like just from a dating experience maybe in Germany as compared to Kenya? I would want to understand what, as a German
the
girl...
magic in it?
Yes, that's the word.
That's hard. How can you explain love in words what you should feel in your heart?
Find the words. It's even for me asking the question. I'm just trying to...
hard.
Yeah, but I would want to understand.
Now give me a moment to think.
Or take all the time you need. If there's time you have time.
You have time. Oh my gosh. This is really hard, but it depends on an individual. I would not say that that it's. I think it depends on the individual. At least for me, I could not say it. It really matters who is the guy.
Okay.
It's not that. Yeah, I'm here now. They are also handsome. It's not like that. It really just
it's a
depends.
cookie jar for you guys once you're here. I've been told that apparently. It's like a cookie jar. Once, like, any girl from Europe lands in Kenya, like they just see like a lot of, beauty in like just a culture and ethnicity as well.
Yeah, maybe it starts like that, but
of course
still,
personality, it comes down to the person.
It comes down to the person. Same in Germany. Otherwise it would not matter, but it matters. So it always depends on the person you're with. Everyone is unique in maybe a culture is shaping one as well, and maybe when you are from one culture there's at least this common thing that you can say. Maybe are all Maasai, for example. They share culture, so there's this point that you can find in everyone because it's molded deep in what we have in common, but still there's a personality that comes on top of it.
Yeah. So what kind of qualities do you look for in a guy?
In a guy?
Yeah. What kind of qualities did you look for in, before you got into your situation? Ideally, if you're going out before you get involved in someone, what do you look for? Is it a big heart do you look for? Because I've had like girls on the podcast who like say like, I want either money, I want tall person, I want this, but what do you go for in a person?
No, for me, I go in someone. When I feel I'm with someone, I should overall feel better than if I was alone. If a relationship would drag me down, then I should at least start to reflect about it. Then when together you can create something that is bringing both of us forward, and it's also good for the people that surround us, then I think
you really do get soft thing. Once you start talking about love.
Really, yeah.
You're like,
It's hard to talk about that. Like,
but it's a good
because
feeling.
I feel it's hard to talk about that by myself because it's a thing of two. Now I have to choose my words properly.
I know, but it's just sharing from your perspective.
From my perspective.
See, like my previous guest, because we were talking about her and she was talking about how she went through her breakup and that's what shaped her, inspired her, and she's looking at things differently. And we were also talking about how as creatives, at times love can either boost you or slow you down.
Yeah.
So it can be one or the other. So you also have to tread carefully at times, because as an artist it might affect your work negatively or positively. So it just depends. So yeah, that's why I'm asking about more details on love. You have to share.
For love.
Yeah.
I think you can find love in Europe, you can find love in Asia, you can find love in anywhere on the world, also in Kenya.
In this city, it's hard. In Nairobi, it's hard. I envy people who are in love in Nairobi because I'm like, how did you do it? How do you do it?
It just depends on the individual.
Yeah.
And on what both want.
Okay. I can see you being very careful.
I'm really careful what I'm saying. I have to be now.
Okay. Does it matter to you? Because I also always ask this when somebody is of a different ethnicity. Does it matter to you whether they will be accepted by, like, let's say your family because of their ethnicity? Let's say you're definitely white, right? Or are you mixed?
No, I would say I'm white.
You're white, right?
This morning I looked in the mirror.
I'm just asking. Hey, you might have like an eighth of 2% mixed with something else.
No, it's cool, but I would say from all I know, I'm German to every extent that I could figure out in the family tree. I did not find. I was looking for. Yeah, I must have.
Did you do the DNA test?
No, but in the further studying as psychologist, you also have to look a bit on the generations before you, because the culture is also coming down. So I was looking like, but where's this foreign part in me? And I just did not find it. It's just German there.
It's German. So what's that narrative like? Does it family, friends, are they concerned at times when they hear like, you're dating like, a Kenyan guy? Because you guys are different.
Yeah, we are.
You are different. And at times, even for me, let's say the past, if I've dated somebody who's either white or of a different ethnicity, there's always going to be like those questions like, maybe like the black girls are feeling like, hey, why are you stealing one of our boys? Why are you doing this and that? So at times those things come into place, or maybe people from your side would be like, why are you dating like, an African? So do those things come in your mind, and do they affect how you think? How's your family taking that and everything?
Like, for example, at the moment, I deeply appreciate that my mom came to see me here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I always loved traveling since I'm young. When I was 14, I started to travel alone with my friends, and ever since I was traveling quite a lot. So although I've always said that I would not want to spend my life in Germany, I still think my parents were like, she's young, let her just
experience
do her thing,
life
and then things will sort themselves out.
Yeah.
She's still, I'm the only kid though.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're the only kid?
Yeah, I'm the only kid.
So you don't plan on going back to Germany?
So now it comes to a point that my parents start thinking like, it's the third time she's going there, and this time it's even longer. So they start doubting if I'm really coming back to Germany. Because they see that of course you can love someone, but then if you love the country, if you love the culture, you love the places, the way of living, and then you also feel home, that is a lot.
But do they know you're dating a Kenyan?
Yeah, they know.
They know, right?
They know.
Do they support that?
Yeah, they support, and on the other side they know that they have to give. I would say for my family it's not like here. We are open, we are cool with each other. We're really cool with each other, so I can date who I want, because for my parents, they are clever, but in some cultures you just have to hide your thing. Yeah,
because in some cultures you might, like your mom would be like, you know what, I mean, I don't support this, but maybe if you want to do it, just do it. But, and at times it's just because like our parents are slightly, we'd say old school parents. So for them, they were not interacting the same way this generation is interacting.
Yeah, my parents are cool. Like they know that we are young, and at some point it just you start to get interested in dudes, and then so instead of pretending she's just studying, they're like just be cool with it. So my parents always know who I'm hanging with. But for them, they more like to, they just prefer to raise me in the way that they can make sure, she's careful in whom she's picking to hang out with, instead of like, no, she will not hang out with anyone anyway. So they are just really realistic about it.
So race wouldn't bother them?
No, it would not bother them.
That's nice. That's just what I wanted to know. And after that, I just want to know when you guys are getting married. That's what I asked. Just a simple question.
We should open that podcast to him, since he's anyway hanging around.
That will save for another session. For another session.
We've just been at his parents' place, so.
Oh wow! So you've done like meeting the parents and everything.
We're keeping it slow. Like we're also working together, so we're also workmates. And
none of my girlfriends have met my parents. None of my girlfriends have met my parents. But I'm just saying that's a big step as well.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
In the right direction, of course. Right?
That's a step I really appreciate.
Yeah, that's special. Not a lot of people do that, especially like for us Kenyans. That's a very big step, and that shows just somebody appreciates you in a very different way. So I'm happy for you guys.
No, I just feel like I should.
Okay, now, so we've touched on like bits and pieces of everything, and I just wanted to drag you on the podcast, and you said yes to it. And we've just had a little conversation about what you do, how you're passionate about the country, of course, how you're passionate, of course, about your Kenyan boy as well. and now, the last question that I normally ask people on the podcast, not unless there's something that I'm missing and you'd want us to chop it off and just discuss a bit.
I should, when I'm having the option.
Yeah.
So now that you made me blush like from one cheek to the other.
yeah.
All over my face, I should at least mention if anyone wants to have a board or get lessons, then he's the guy to go to.
Yeah.
So you can also just follow him on Woodwise Skating, Woodwise Skateboarding, and whenever you are in Nairobi or even any other city in Kenya would do, like just check it out on Instagram or on
he does like you can call him and then he'll come and teach you. Okay.
Yeah, teaching depends on where you are, but when you're looking for good skateboards, for any good products or for advice, also for nice skate videos when you want to get inspired, then just check it out.
Nice. You'll give me the links and then I'll just add them down on the Instagram below. So there's always one question that I ask people before I finish the podcast. Do you want to hear this question? Are you sure you want this question?
Yeah, you should do it. What is the question?
Okay, so the question is, what's the one thing that you think you're in pursuit of right now? And if you got it, it would give your life a better meaning, direction, or satisfaction.
Pursue?
Yeah, that you're in pursuit of, that makes you wake up every day in the morning, motivates you to wake up. You're looking for it.
My greatest motivation?
Yeah. Or something that you want to achieve.
I want to achieve more than staying on a tourist visa, so that I can feel free, because by the end of the year...
Hold on. I have a solution for you. I have a solution for you. Do you want to know what the answer is? You don't know the answer, the easiest way you can do that?
In 5 more minutes, you can tell me about that.
Okay, finish your part and then I'll tell you.
Yeah, okay. If I have that, I would like to maybe get some, earn some money, then buy some land. Even by the end of the year, it would be nice to register an my own company, so that for the concept that I'm following, I would want to do more than only giving it to one company. But I think there's more that can be done. There's more that could be reached, and also for me, long time, I want to live on more than a small sponsorship that is ending after half a year. So I would also want to make this a bigger thing, a long-term thing. So for that, it would be nice if by the end of the year I could have registered my own company. So I'm working on that and following this. This plan, also having a bit more intercultural sessions in it, a bit more social psychology. I would also want to finish the master and do a master thesis about intercultural topic. That is what keeps me going. Also, it would be nice to have my dad around.
Yeah.
That's a long time motivation.
Has he visited before?
He loves his small place in his town, he knows.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard to shake him
out of his comfort zone. Yeah.
Since he's also a bit a man of age after some time.
Yeah, it's not fun traveling anymore.
Then, it's a bit hard to really get to that point. But
him to Diani. He'll love the sun there. But I know it's not like 30 degrees, but definitely just the beauty of the ocean, the sun and everything just makes people have a completely different experience.
Even on the coffee farm, there's also there's an Airbnb called Kenyan Backpackers Airbnb. Yeah. And this place is like heaven on earth for me, because just from the doorstep you have this wonderful view over all the tea growing there, and after the tea you just see Mount Kenya, mountains, all like that. This is just the place where my mom enjoyed, and I would also want my dad to enjoy.
She had fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, this was a really nice place to be, though. It still is a really nice place to be.
Nice. So now, should I give you the solution on how your visa can definitely just be extended unlimitedly?
Unlimitedly.
Yeah. When is it expiring? Can you share that? By the end of the year? Will it make it to the end of the year?
Okay, actually, to be honest,
We don't have to say, when it's expiring or whatever, but I can give you a very good solution.
ears are wide open.
That will solve this problem immediately. Just get married.
I knew you would say that.
Get married. No, but here's the thing. Think about it. If you love someone, you're not doing it for other reasons, yes, but it's generally with somebody you love, so why not?
Just one step after each other. There's no reason to rush. If you really plan on having a life together, then there's no reason to rush.
Not if you, according to like the system and all these things that are put in place will not give you more time to spend with someone that you love.
Yeah, the visa is quite hard, but still, I can go out of the country for maybe 2 weeks and I can come back. Then I have another 3 months.
Okay, then that's okay.
It's somehow there are always ways.
Yeah.
And even marrying is not as easy because German embassies, from what I've heard, they are quite critical.
Really?
So you need to know even your boyfriend's grandfather's second name. And
they ask those questions?
They ask those questions,
Oh,
plus
shit.
the color of the curtain of your kitchen.
They'll ask?
Whatever. Yeah, they at least...
they want to know that you genuinely...
Yeah, because friends of us, they got married. The dude is from France and she's Kenyan. So they asked all those questions, the French embassy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that easy. It took them half a year to go through the process.
Come on, you just go through the things. Just write down a bunch of questions, like 100 of them. Go through them like 100 times. And by the time you go in there, you're just like, any questions for us? But I understand what you're saying. But also, the thing, like you said, if love is special, you love one another.
There's no rush.
There's no rush. Or there is a rush. Because life is short. Hey,
Life
just
is
saying.
short, but...
Aren't you the one who said that?
Yeah, but what is marriage?
A ring? Commitment? Okay, we'll save that for another podcast. This love segment can never end if this debate goes on.
It can never end, but...
So, where can people find you on Instagram or social media? And what else? Is there anything else that you'd want to plug in that you have going on?
Okay, people can find me on IG as Flamingo Go Fly, or on Facebook, Pia Martin.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
Also, some friends can find me over my WhatsApp number.
Yeah. Don't give out the WhatsApp number. We have so many creeps on the podcast. I might start sending you messages. But yeah, I'll put the links down below so you can follow her. Just, if you have any questions just concerning what she's talked about.
Yeah, hopefully by the end of the year, when I register my company that I'm planning to found, at the moment, I'm stuck in the registration because as a foreigner, registering a company is a bit more difficult.
But if you're married,
by the end of the year, when it's officially done as a German, I want to do it like properly.
But also, like in Kenya, I think Kenya is one of the countries where it's easy for somebody to resettle. So I know if there are processes that you have to go through, it's just like for precaution purposes and just for record keeping, but which I'm sure it's even, because I hear it's even much way harder in other countries because now the systems are super, super strict. But I think in Kenya we are more welcoming to people who are coming to invest and just grow the country. So I mean, so far from what you're saying, hey, somebody from the embassy might be watching the podcast and be like, what? Granted.
That would be really dope. That would be really nice.
Yeah, Baby steps.
Baby steps, step by step.
So it's been another amazing episode. Thanks for coming through. I can't thank you enough. And I can't wait to see you extending like your stay, your business, and just opening your own company. And of course, getting like some babies with my good friend. I mean, that's what we're hoping for. Until the next time we see you in another episode of the Kisscapades podcast. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the time.
You're welcome. How do you say goodbye in German?
Auf Wiedersehen und auf Wiederhören. See you and hear you again.
Just say that again.
Auf Wiedersehen is for seeing again. Und auf Wiederhören for hearing again.
Okay, we'll just go with goodbye for now.
Goodbye. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. It's the Kisscapades podcast. Bye. How was that?
It's pretty cool.
You like it?